It's time for Into the Spectrum's Fun Minute Tip.
Hi, I'm Courtney Peters, and welcome to Into the Spectrum. I feel like I have to work on my intro. I feel like Hugh Grant in the movie Love Actually, when he's doing this, like, must work on my wave. That's what I feel like. I feel like I must work on my intro. Anyways, first, I am going to be recording this video. Then I get to go eat dinner. It's getting pretty late, so eating would be my reinforcer, the thing that I want to do. And recording this video is more work. So what am I using there? I'm using something called the Premack Principle. And what does that mean? It's actually just what I did first then. First you have to do something, then you get something more reinforcing. You can also use an if then. So if you do this, then you get to get that. And some people call it grandma's rule too. And I guess because grandmas tend to say these types of things. Well, first eat your vegetables, then I'll give you an ice cream. I know my grandma used this. I'm thinking of an example now where we had to tie our shoelaces before we went outside. And so I remember my brother and I sitting on the step, and we had to tie our shoes before we can go outside and ride our bikes, and we really wanted to go ride our bikes. Well, we had to do this thing first, and we had to essentially learn how to do it. My brother, being the clever one, ended up just putting his shoelaces inside the shoe and ran outside and got to go play. And I'm here struggling, trying to get it tied. Anyways, besides the point. So that was just an example of my grandma using the first then. And so that's how we see it played. So how can we essentially get motivation, that motivation to get us to do that task first? And some other examples are, if you're using these types of things, you might say something like, go brush your teeth. If there's nothing afterwards that makes it motivating, are they going to go brush their teeth? Maybe, maybe not. Depends how much they listen and how much they like brushing their teeth. If they don't like it, that motivation might not be there. And what about if you say, go brush your teeth, and if you don't brush your teeth, then you're not watching TV? Well, you're putting something afterwards that's negative, and so you're taking something away instead of giving something positive. What do they like doing? So try to stay away from just giving just the task and just do that, so just brush your teeth, and try to stay away from using those negatives. Also, just another note too, when you're using first then and you're teaching this skill, it's a good thing to teach it a certain way. So you can teach it in a systematic way. So you can teach it by first doing where you're pairing stuff up with something that they really like with something that they really like. So they're doing both, and they're learning that language that you're going to use with them. And so they're learning the concept. So first you get to eat ice cream, then you get to play your iPad. So they love doing both things. And this is just an example. I mean, I don't know if you're watching that they're liking both. So just give me an example. So there are two things that they really like doing. Once they're doing this and they're understanding the concept of this, well, then you can actually move to the next step. So the next step being something a little bit more like, not my favorite, but I don't mind doing it. And so you're going to do something. So maybe it's for your child, an example of doing a puzzle. So first do a puzzle, then you can play the iPad. So there's an example of that moderately preferred, it's okay, I'll do it. And then that high reinforcer, the thing they really want to do afterwards. So after they're doing that, now move on to that next one where you're doing something a little bit harder with something that they really, really want to do. So that's that next step. So then it could be something like color this picture, then you get to play your iPad. So you're making it just, a little bit harder, and you're really learning that concept. Some things that they might need to know before you even start to do this, take a look at a couple of things. How are they with following instructions? So do they know some of the instructions like, go sit down, color, just some, beginning steps of that, and then also go play your iPad. Following that instruction. So look at following instructions, and can they do some of those simple one-step instructions. Also, something that will be beneficial for them to know is waiting. So can they wait, just that simple waiting, just for a small period of time, because again, they're going to have to be waiting for that thing that they really want. In this example, the iPad. So can they wait a little bit of time for that iPad? So that you have to teach that skill. Another thing, when you're teaching this skill, you can also use visuals or you can use your verbal words, depending on how your child learns best. So you could use a visual that says first and then. And you can also create pictures that go along with it. So you can have a picture of somebody coloring and then a picture of your iPad. And so you can place it first, color, then iPad. And so that can be a visual picture, visual representation of what they have to do. And then you can also just use your verbal words. You can also just say, first, go color, then you can play with your iPad. So just know those small tips. If you have any awesome success stories and you've tried this out, well, let me know down in the comments below. I would love to hear about them. And also, don't forget to subscribe and like. Also, there will be a video picked out for you over here. It might be after the disclaimer. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, guys.
Thanks for watching Into the Spectrum's Fun Minute Tip. Don't forget to like and subscribe.